Today on Island Focus, you will enjoy meeting Todd Lewis, who is the Chief Operating Officer with the Blood Bank of Hawaii. Glad you could be with us. You know, we've heard so much about the blood bank, but perhaps you could give us a little more background on your vision, the mission, and what do you do there?
Well, first, our mission at Blood Bank of Hawaii is to provide a safe and adequate blood supply to meet all the hospital and patient needs here in the state of Hawaii. We service all 18 civilian hospitals here in the state system. And what I do there, I'm the Chief Operating Officer. So I oversee the production line from the donor experience all the way to the delivery of the blood to the hospitals.
So this is the one repository where blood gets stored, gets received and stored, that services all of Hawaii?
So we service all of Hawaii. We're also a supplemental supplier for the Tripler Army Medical Center too. And we serve a private hospital in Guam as well.
So that's a lot of blood that might be needed for all the population.
Almost 50,000 red cells a year.
How do you recruit people? How do you inspire people to come? Because it's kind of scary.
It is. It is. That's a great question. It is scary. A lot of people are scared because just when you talk about blood, it's blood.
And it's mine.
And it's mine, right? Exactly, right? We don't want to see our own blood because it's inside of our body. You know, this is a volunteer donor base. The donors get the opportunity to save lives through the experience of the donation process. Our phlebotomists are well trained. Customer service is always our utmost concern. We have opportunities to have manapuas and malasadas and cookies and snacks and stuff.
When you give
afterwards.
blood, you get a snack?
You get a snack afterwards. But it's a volunteer program. It takes the entire state and the community of the state. You know, it's an ohana. And us being there's no one like us here in the state. We don't have any competition for blood donation. So we are all one big ohana to come together to save those patients. We all have friends and family and acquaintances that are serviced in these hospitals. And so we're taking care of our own. And so in the recruitment, the outreach, we have businesses all over the islands. We have a lot of schools. We have a very, very strong high school program. In fact, about 13% of our blood donations comes from our 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids.
Wow.
So it's pretty interesting. And so that's a lot of our outreach.
And what do you think is the attitude or why the generosity from that generation?
This generation coming up, we're going from the millennials to the Zs now that are into Generation Z that's going into the high school age. They're more aware of wanting to give back. It's also a social aspect for that. They do things in big groups too. So even the size of our high school drives have gotten bigger, more participants of the student population. We have employees that their focus, we have a program manager that's built a really nice, robust program around the high school program, as well as the college program. And so we've done a good job of educating from elementary. We have elementary programs, draw the blood on the 16, 17-year-olds, get them into college and draw them. And now the fun part is trying to keep them engaged when they go out into the community and for their careers and things like that.
Well, and I imagine it's a little challenging also to explain that if I give a pint of blood or a pint of blood every year, which is many pints, that I'm not compromising myself.
Right. It's actually healthy to donate blood. And so we're a volunteer donor base. In the process, you go through what we would call a mini physical, a screening. So blood pressure, we check hemoglobin, pulse, temperature, those kind of things.
Blood type.
Blood type. We do need to know the blood type for matching the patients. And then you go through a bunch of history questions and things like that. And then once you're eligible, then you go through that process. Your body starts producing and replacing that liquid you lost the minute you start giving it. The red cells automatically. That's why the deferral or the eligibility criteria between donations is 8 weeks for red cells. You just need 8 weeks to get back to that red cell amount that you need. But you start replenishing it right away. And it's good for the body to regenerate new cells.
You know, some of my friends are donors as well, and they come back from the experience feeling very proud that they were part of something bigger. And I never really thought about it from that perspective.
You know, I've been in this industry in blood banking for almost a quarter century. I did 10 years in the hospitals servicing patients in orthopedics and surgery. So my mission, my career is all about saving lives. It's really neat, and in fact, I'm getting some goosebumps even thinking about it. Our donors that get that experience of saving lives, and they don't get to meet those patients. So that's what makes the donor so special. And they're saving up to 3 lives on one donation. You can donate 6 times a year for red cells. You can do 24 times a year if you do our platelet procedure. And we have a number of folks that do that. And those dedicated donors are really special people.
Well, and I also understand from my friends who've done it that the staff is very supportive and very embracing.
Yeah.
So if you're very scared, you can get through it.
Some of my friends that I have here that donate for me, one person in particular, it was her first time donation, and she was afraid of the needle. And she's a little lady, and you know, dynamite comes in small packages, right? And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll meet you over there. So I held her hand. After she had the procedure, she goes, wow, and she's my age, and that was her first donation. She goes, I wasted a lot of my time, that was nothing. She had built it up into her, you know, that fear and that anxiety, and she realized it's just a little pinch.
Well, thank you so much for sharing a few minutes and giving us an inspiration to go out and donate blood.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into Island Focus and listening to my conversation with Todd Lewis, who is the Chief Operating Officer for the Blood Bank of Hawaii. Aloha.